Alright, welcome back to another episode of DreamTanksTV and Enhancement Shaman Madness. Alright, legit chat. Alright, this is now we're gonna go over the Cauldron of Carnage. We already went over Vexy, the Gear Grinder. Alright, if you missed that, go to um, under YouTube, the playlist that says the Liberation of Undermine, and you should see Vexy, the Gear Grinder, and I already went over normal, heroic, and mythic layout and everything. So y'all take a look at that if y'all missed it. All right, now we're gonna go over the Cauldron of Carnage. All right. Hope y'all doing good. All right, legit. All right, so there's normal, heroic, and there's mythic. All right, so let's take a look at what they look like. Models. This with the dragon, look, dinosaur. I said much dragon, dinosaur, and then this is the Florendo of Furious, and the second one is Torque of Temps. Torque of Temps, the big old monkey. Looks like Winton. So we got a T Rex, yellow T Rex, and a big ass monkey. All right, cool. All right, so let's go over normal. Okay, so this is the normal. Remember, we're gonna go over heroic and mythic right after we go over the normal. All right, so Cauldron of Carnage. Throughout history, there has been many epic wars, but none more explosive than the rivalry between the galvanic gorilla Torque the Temp and the molten Mechasaur Florendo the Furious. All right. Let's see. Tonight, all bets are off when these two champions clash in the Cauldron for the Shadow Down that threatens to tear Undermine into two. Okay. Witness the carnage or the sh- be the shame of the goblin kind. Okay. Be the shame of the goblin kind. Okay, so overview. Florendo and Torque puts on a show for the audience, throwing scrap bombs. What is scrap bombs? Let's see. Scrap bombs is 3 second class, 3 second cast. Is at unlimited range. Let's see. Florendo spits a ball of scraps that explodes after 10 seconds. Inflicts 3.1 million fire damage to all players and knocks them back within 8 yards. This damage is reduced for each player within 8 yards. Okay, so this damage is reduced for each player within 8 yards. So, okay, so when Florendo does scrap bomb, looks like everybody has to go soak that. So it splits the damage for everybody. Alright, so everybody doesn't get wrecked. Everybody, if it doesn't get split, then obviously everybody takes 3.1 million fire damage. But if everybody soaks it, then depending on how many players you have in the raid are split. 3.1 million divided by how many players you have in the raid. There, you do the math. Alright, legit. Alright. I see. And afflicting arena combatants with static charge. Okay, so what is static charge? Torque suits, let's see. Torque suits amplifies the electrical charges generated within 70 yards. Until the next colossal clash, an electrical charge courses through players that enter into a range inflicting 68,450 natural damage every 1 second. Additionally, while in range, the charge grows when the target moves and depletes when it's stationary. At max charge, it erupts into a static charge. Okay. So don't go into the area. When they clash, don't go into the area. Or you're gonna get static discharge, and then if you try to move, you're, let's see, make sure, while in range, the charge grows when the target moves. So if you move, the charge grows, and if you stay still, the charge depletes. And when it gets maximum charge, it makes another static charge. So, and probably inflict other people, or there's a range. All right, let's see. Upon reaching 100 energy, Florendo and Torx come together in a colossal clash. Okay, so that's what it is. That's when it makes the area colossal clash. Upon reaching 100 energy, Florendo and Torx clash in the middle of an arena for 20 seconds. Their battle inflicts 136,829,000 fire damage and 136,829 natural damage to all players every 1 second, and causes zap bolts and fire waves to erupt from them. Each clash increases the damage of Colossal Clash by 15%. This affects stacks. Okay, so you gotta try to burn the boss before you have multiple Colossal Clashes, basically. This is a burn boss, basically. The first boss was a burn boss. You gotta beat the boss for 45 seconds or rinse and repeat. So this one, you gotta try to beat the boss before reaching a high level of clash before your rage is wise, basically. Alright, interesting. Damage dealers. Let's see. Blistering Spite and Galvanious Spite increases over time as players fight Florengo and Torque. Okay, so what is Blistering Spite? Blistering Spite is Florendo radiates flames, applying blistering spite to all players within 60 yards every 5 seconds, inflicting 9,130 fire damage every 1 second for 15 seconds. This affects stacks. Oh, so we gotta beat the boss fast, or people just within range is gonna get wrecked. Okay, cooldowns. Let's see. And Galvanious Spike. What is Galvanious Spike? Torque bliss with electricity, applying Galvanious spikes to all players within 60 yards every 5 seconds, inflicts 9,130 natural damage for every 1 second for 15 seconds. This affects stacks. Okay, so melee range are gonna get wrecked. The second boss. Alright. Ranged is gonna be really good. Melee range is about to get wrecked. Alright, let's see. Damage dealers number 2. Bullet number 2. Static charge erupts into static charge erupts into static discharge once it builds up to maximum charge. And we already went over what static charge is. You know that static charge applies an electrical charge generated within 70 yards upon the next colossal clash. An electrical charge courses through a player that enters the range, inflicting it for 68,415 natural damage every 1 second. Additionally, while in range, the charge grows as you move and depletes as you stay still. And once it erupts, it becomes static discharge. And what is static discharge? Static discharge is a maximum built up of static charges stun the player for 6 seconds. So basically, if you get in that electrical field And guess what? If it erupts, you're stunned for 6 seconds. So be careful. Don't get into the electrical field. Alright, chat? Get away. After Colossal Clash, get away from the electrical fields or you're going to end up getting stuck. Put a dot on, and then once it reaches maximum, you're going to get stunned for 6 seconds. There you go. Alright, Scrap Bomb will inflict massive damage to the raid if no players is hit. So basically stack. Everybody on the Scrap Bombs needs to stack to split the damage of 3.1 million fire damage for all players that are in it. And they get knocked back within 8 yards. But it's better to everybody to stack, soak up the raid damage, instead of everybody taking 3.1 million fire damage and everybody gets knocked back. Alright, so that's what the damage dealers got to deal with. Healers, Blistering Spike and Glavius Spike increases over time as players fight Florendo and Torque. So healers, understand melee class is going to get wrecked. And you're going to have a dot, so they're most likely prioritized because they're going to have a main dot from the bosses. Alright? So it was up to you, you know. I'm just giving it and not an advice, but an idea. You know, you may just throw that idea away. Maybe you'll get a better idea, but it's still an idea. Food for thought. Basically, it's food for thought. Alright, so let's see. Scrap Bomb. For healers, Scrap Bombs inflicts damage split evenly among players in the explosive radius. So basically heal the raid after the people. If there's a certain amount of people that are soaking it, if you already know how many you need, understand those people are going to need healing most likely after, or you know, after they take the explosion or pre-shields or something within that nature, for they can soak up more damage so they don't get wrecked. Alright, also healer says Colossal Clash inflicts heavy damage to all players. And remember, Colossal Clash is upon reaching 100 energy, Florendo and Torque clashes in the middle of the arena for 20 seconds. Their battle inflicts 136,829 fire damage and 136,829 natural damage to all players every 1 second, and causes zap bolts and fire wave to erupt from them. Each clash increases the damage of Colossal Clash by 15%. This affects stack, so understand the raid's gonna take a lot of damage, healers. Alright. Alright, tanks, and this is still for normal. We're gonna go to heroic after this and then mythic. Tanks. Blistering Spike and Galavage Spike increase over time as players fight. Okay, you're gonna take damage just like DPS. Let's see. Okay, so next bullet, Eruption Stomp and Overload Burst inflicts heavy damage. Okay, so let's go over what Eruption Burst is. Eruption Burst is Florendo runs several calculations and then stomps, triggering an eruption beneath their current target that inflicts 9.1 million fire damage and launches them high in the air, releasing fire waves in multiple directions. So people dodge the fire waves. Let's read that again. Make sure y'all stay hydrated. All right. Eruption Stomp. Florendo runs he runs several calculations, then stumps, triggering an eruption beneath their current target that erupts 9.1 million fire damage and launches them high into the air, releasing fire waves in multiple directions. Okay. What is Overload Burst? Overload Burst is Torque smashes his current target, inflicting 8.6 million physical damage. Additionally, 100% is unmitigated damage as inflicts is natural damage. Okay, looks like y'all just gonna do a tank swap. Alright? One tank grabs the monkey, one tank grabs the uh grabs the the T-Rex. Understand if you put them together, they're both gonna do a lot of damage to everybody because that dot sucks. So you're probably gonna have to separate them. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're like in mythic high level progression and then you're just running normals and you could just stack and blow them apart. Okay, cool. But usually, as people start out, you probably want to separate these bosses, and when they do their eruption stomp, and then when the T-Rex does the eruption stomp, and then the monkey does lightning blast, tanks just swap, basically. All right, the next one, tank says Florendo and Toric take reduced damage while affected by raised guard. What is raised guard? Florengo and Toric bolsters their defenses while within 40-yard radius of each other, reducing their damage taken by 90%. This effect does not occur during Colossal Clash. Okay, so basically, bolster the defenses while within 40%, each reducing their damage taken. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. You can't have them together. Okay, so tanks, you gotta separate the bosses. Because if you have them together, even if you're in Mythic, they're gonna take 99% reduced damage, alright? So you gotta separate the bosses. You gotta separate the T-Rex and the monkey. That's how that boss goes, alright? Alright, just you're gonna have two separate teams. One on the monkey and one on basically on the T-Rex, and then basically I'll just tank swap. Basically the tanks. Alright, that's pretty good to understand. Now you understand how this fight goes. Alright, chat? Alright, let's go to Heroic. Heroic overview. Is there anything different for the DPS? Nope. There's no. We're gonna go over the abilities. Over the abilities, they'll have different one. I'm just going for the main overview. Okay, for healers, basically the same thing. Tanks. Is there any additions? No, no additions for Heroic. Okay, let's go to Mythic. Let's see, Mythic for DPS, there's no addition, basically the same. There'll be difference when we go to the abilities, but the overview is no difference. Healers, same overview. Tanks, same overview, basically. They just do more damage. They just do dramatically more damage. That's all it is. Every single one just do more damage, basically. Alright, so let's go to the normal. Let's go to abilities. Alright. Alright, so let's go. Colossal Clash is very important. Upon reaching 100 energy, Florango and Tora clashes into the middle of the arena for 20 seconds. Their battle inflicts 136,829 fire damage and 136,829 natural damage to all players for 1 second, causing Sap Bolt. I haven't still figured out. Oh, we now figured out what Sap Bolt is. Nice. Sap Bolt and Fire Wave to erupt from them. Okay, and each stacks and it increases every single time by 15%. So let's see what Sap Bolt is now. Let's see, Sap Bolt. Taurus calls down lightning strikes that inflict 1.8 million natural damage to players within 5 yards of the impact location. Okay, so basically get out of Sap Bolts. When they start to throw lightning balls on the ground, there's circles or whatever, get out of it. Within 5 yards. That means get out, move far away from it. Don't be within 5 yards of that radius. You're gonna get smacked with 1.8 million on normal. And let's see, fire waves. Florendo unleashes explosive projectile flames that inflict 2.7 million fire damage to players hit. So basically, dodge the waves on normal, or you're gonna be smacked for 2.7 million health, basically. Ooh, the ghost. All right, raised guard. Let's see, Florengo and Torque. Basically, they take 99% reduced damage if they 40 yards with each other. So basically, you gotta tank them apart, and that's raised guard. Let's see, King of Carnage. King of Carnage is as the last beast standing becomes the King of Carnage, increasing his damage by 50%. Every 5 seconds, the Vlasly the every 5 seconds, and vastly increases the range of some abilities. Okay, so let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Florengo, if he wins, a blistering spike. Florengo radius flames, applying blistering spike to all players within 5 yards, within 60 yards. Oh, within 60 yards. Oh, that's basically to the whole raid for every 5 seconds. Inflicting 9. So basically, we got to stack to heal. Stack. If the fire guy wins, King of Carnage. Ooh, the ghost. Basically, if the T-Rex wins, and this affects stacks. They say scrap bombs. That's healers. You gotta understand. That's a healer alert for normal. All right. So Florendo, radius flames, applying blistering spike to all players within 60 yards every 5 seconds, inflicting 9,130 fire damage every 1 second for 15 seconds, and this affects stacks. All right. Scrap bomb. Florendo splits a ball of scrap, or spits a ball of scraps that explodes after 10 seconds, inflicting 3.1 million fire damage to all players and knock them back within 80 yards. The damage is reduced for all players within the 8 yards. So basically, when Florendo, the Furies, the T-Rex, the scrap bomb, everybody gotta go stack and soak. They gotta go soak, even on normal, or you're gonna take 3.1 million fire damage per player. Deadly. This is deadly. Blast, burn, roar cannon. Florengo targets. Wait. Florendo tracks a target while charging, then locks in place and prepares to fire. Once ready, it fires a beam. Over the next 3 seconds, the beam inflicts 36.2 million fire damage every 0.01 seconds to players in contact. Basically, it don't get hit by the beam. All right, the T-Rex is gonna do a beam. Don't get hit by the beam. Is most likely gonna go in a circle. All right, run or blink across the beam. Do what you gotta do, because you're gonna take 36.2 million fire damage. I highly doubt that anybody has that much health on normal. Alright. Alright, so there you go. T-Rex gonna do a beam. You dodge the beam or you die. For tanks, Eruption Stump. Ferengo runs several calculations, then stumps trigger an eruption beneath their current target that inflicts 9.1 million fire damage and launches them into the air, releasing fire waves in multiple directions. Basically, dodge the waves. Alright, and that's probably when you got a tank swap. So whoever's tanking the T-Rex, now you probably got to go tank the monkey, and then whoever's tanking the monkey got to go tank the T-Rex. So it's basically tank swap. Alright, so let's see. Okay, the monkey. Let's see for healers. Torque blisters with electricity, applying galvanized spikes to all players within 60 yards every 5 seconds. Within 60 yards every 5 seconds. I'm guessing it's if the monkey wins. So basically, it's King of Carnage. So basically, they don't. Okay, so one of them wins, and then when one wins, increases damage by 50% every 5 seconds. So basically, whoever wins after they clash either the monkey or the T-Rex. You gotta burn them down because every single affix is increased by 50%. The damage is increased by 50% every 5 seconds. Is also increased ability. So it's a burn. It's a burn phase. It's like you almost gotta burn them down, or if one dies, then the one that you gotta get kill increases by 50% on their damage. You gotta burn as soon as possible, basically. All right. All right. So, okay, so let's go to static charge. Very, it says important. It says torque suits amplifies the electric charges generated within 7 yards until the next colossal clash. An electric charge courses through players that enter the range, so don't enter the range, inflicting 68,450 natural damage for 1 second. Additionally, while in range, the charge grows when the target moves, and it depletes if they stay still, and then they explode and make a static discharge. All right, and that's so. And then remember, static discharge, when it erupts, you're stunned for 6 seconds. Okay, so if you get into that area, you're gonna get stunned if you start to move because it'll reach max, and then guess what? You'll be stunned for 6 seconds. And nobody likes being stunned for 6 seconds. All right, legit, and that's still on normal. We're gonna go to heroic and mythic after this, just so y'all know. All right, let's see. The next one is Thunder Drum Salvo. Let's see. Torque rapidly drums his wait. Torque rapidly drums his launch button, firing missiles at all players within 60 yards for 6 seconds. Each missile inflicts 2.2 million natural damage within 4 yards of impact. Okay, so basically dodge the missiles. Dodge the missiles for 6 seconds. If you can put that, that's a dot. Run away from the group and dodge the missiles. All right. All right. Let's see. There's also for the tank, lightning bash. Torque smashes. Torque. The monkey smashes his current target, inflicts an 8.6 million physical damage. Additionally, 100% of unmitigated damage is inflicted as natural damage. Okay, so after that, cool. Pop a cooldown before you do what you gotta do, and then tank swap. I'm guessing tank swap. You know. All right, so let's look at heroic. Let's see if they added anything under heroic. All right, so heroic colossal clash. It did hurt more. Yes, it hurt more. The damage did increase. All right, the damage it increased, it hit 188,000 and 88 fire damage, and then 188,835 natural damage. Okay, that was for Colossal Smash. That's on heroic. All right, let's see. Everything's okay. Everything's basically the same for just a little more damage. The zap bolt, 2.5 million. Get out of the zap bolt and dodge the waves. The waves are now in heroic at 3.7 million damage if they hit you. Don't get hit by it. Also remember radius guard. Don't break the bosses. So it's a tank swap for sure. And then whenever King of Carnage happens, whoever lives, their damage is increased by 50%. Understand? That's what you got to deal with. I'm guessing it might be phase 2. I'm not sure, but let's figure it out. Alright, remember, you gotta separate the bosses or they're gonna reduce damage by 99%. And remember, King of Carnage. Remember, so when one beast is last standing, either the T-Rex or the monkey is going to be doing these affixes and they increase damage by 50%. Okay, so let's start with the T-Rex. Blistering Spike now increase damage every 5 seconds. It inflicts 12,600 fire damage every 1 second for 15 seconds, and this stacks. Alright, also scrap bombs in heroic and mythic. Scrap bomb leaves a molten pool after exploding. Okay, so now remember, scrap bomb also now increased in damage. So after 10 seconds, if people don't soak it up, Let's see. Let's see. Scrap bombs. After 10 seconds, inflicting to all players and knock them back within 8 yards. This damage reduced. Yes. So basically, you gotta soak up scrap bombs, and now it's 4.4 million 4.4 million damage, fire damage that your group has to soak up. All right. Let's see. Molten pool. What is molten pool? Because remember, it's a heroic and mythic. Scrap bombs leave behind a molten pool after exploding. Let's see what molten pool is. Molten metal spreads across the ground, sending fire waves in multiple directions, inflicting 1.2 million fire damage every 1 second to players touching it. So basically, after it explodes, it's gonna send out molten. It's gonna be a molten pool that sends out waves, and you gotta dodge the waves because they're gonna hit you for 1.2 million damage. All right, for every second that every player that touches it, touches the pool, touches to dodge the wave, and if you're staying in the pool, you're gonna take 1.2 million damage for every second. There you go. Let's see, fire wave. On this one, Florendo unleashes explosive projectile flames that inflict 3.7 million fire damage to players that are hit. Okay, so dodge the waves. And this is heroic. All right, so we got this is heroic difficulty, molten flaying. I don't know what that is. Molten flange. I don't know what that is. Let's see. It says Farango coats a player in molten metal, inflicting 566,505 fire damage to all players within 5 yards every 1 second for 10 seconds. So basically, it's either break them out of this melting case, it's either fastly break them out, or let them sit there for 10 seconds. That's gonna suck. No, it says fire to all players within for 10 seconds, but that sucks because then you're missing whoever DPS, whoever heals, you're missing them for 10 seconds, and that's crucial. Depending if you need them to just sit there. All right, if your raid says let them sit there for 10 seconds, let them sit there. But if you can break them out, understand healers that they're gonna take damage and maybe cover them for a little bit, or maybe if your healers can't, pop a cooldown if you're gonna break these people out of the molten metal. We don't know yet. We'll figure it out. But that's what happens. All right. The boss, the T-Rex, will coat a player in molten metal. All right, inflicting 506,000 fire damage to all players within 5 yards for 1 second. Okay, or maybe it's a dot. Maybe it's a dot, and they have to run away from players. Basically, hopefully it's on a rage, not a DPS, not a melee DPS, because that would suck if it was on melee DPS. No, you're fine. Okay, so this is deadly. Blast burn roar cannon. Okay, so this one's deadly. Okay, it says Florendo tracks a target while charging and then locks in place. Prepares to fire. Once ready, it fires a beam over 3. Basically, dodge the beam. Dodge the beam or you'll die. This one's 50 million. This is 50 million fire damage and heroic if you get hit by the beam. Dodge the beam done by the T-Rex guy. Okay, there you go. There you go. Okay, so for tanks and heroic, basically it says Ferendo runs several calculated runs. Okay, so basically he's going to do his tank swap. You're going to take 12.5 million fire damage and launch you into the air, releasing waves. And people got to dodge the waves. You're going to die most likely. And that's the heroic that is the heroic T-Rex. Now let's go to the heroic monkey. We got to go over his stuff. Torque the Tempest. Okay, so galvanized spike. It says torque blistering with electrical amplifiers. Galvanized spikes to all players within 60 yards for every 5 seconds, inflicting 12,600 natural damage every 1 second for 15 seconds. And this stacks healers. This is a healer alert. Understand we're gonna take right way damage. We're gonna take damage. All right. You're gonna judge it. You'll be in the raid, so I'm not sure if it's raid wide, but you're gonna take damage. All right. It says within 60 yards, so I'm guessing that's raid wide. All players. That's probably raid wide. That's why it says healer. So understand. Probably you're gonna stack and take the damage. Static charge, and it says important. It says torque. Okay, so remember he releases electrical field. So if you get stuck within that electrical field, you're gonna take 94,418 natural damage every 1 second. Remember, if you move, it increases the charges, and if you stay still, it depletes it. And remember, after it max charges, you're gonna be stunned for 6 seconds. All right, so understand that. Let's see, thunderstorm salvo. It says torque rapidly drums a launch button inflicting missiles within 60 yards for 6 seconds. Basically, if you get thunder drum salvo put on you, run out of the raid and dodge the missiles. All right, because you're going to be hit 3.1 million natural damage within 4 yards of impact if you're near there. All right. All right. So next it says heroic difficulty. This is called Voltaic image. Voltaic image. Okay, this is for heroic. Baltic image. It says Torque summons electric images of himself that fixates players for 12 seconds. Upon contact, the image explodes, inflicting 3.4 million natural damage to players within 10 yards and creating lingering electricity. So basically, when the fixation comes out on heroic, basically, if you can kill the ads. If you can't, then kite it for 12 seconds. Basically, kite for 12 seconds. But if you can kill the ad, kite it, other DPS, kill the fixation. Kill the fixation. The faster you kill the fixation, the faster you don't have to deal with this mechanic. All right, so that's what happens. If it's a fixate, if an ad is fixated on someone, if you can kill it, not the person that's getting fixated, other DPS, if you can target and kill their fixation, it'll help the raid and they can go back to DPS and go back to healing or go back to what they need to do. All right, as vice versa to help your other players, kite, and then people switch to the ads, kill it. If you can't switch to the ads and it is what it is, kite it for 12 seconds. Just kite and damage if you can. All right, so remember, I says upon contact. This is upon contact, so it cannot reach you. It says the image explodes, and then it does 3.4 million natural damage to players within 10 yards, and creating a lingering electricity. And what is lingering electricity? Lingering electricity inflicts 944,175 natural damage every 1 second to players within the area, silencing and pacifying them. Not sure what pacifying is, but okay, maybe maybe like stunning them. All right, so get away from the electricity. Basically, get away from the electricity. All right, so next, tanks. Lightning bash from the monkey. Remember, he does more damage on heroic, so he does now 15.7 million physical damage. In addition, 100% of unmitigated damage is inflicted as natural damage. All right, so there you go. So tank swap most likely, but y'all gotta. I'm not a tank, but I'm just guessing. But if y'all tanks understand what y'all gotta do, then do what you gotta do. But if it's tank swap, then tank swap. And that covers heroic. Okay, now let's go over mythic, and we should be done with this boss. For mythic, all right, colossal clash does more damage now. All right, it inflicts the battle. Their battle inflicts 251,552 fire damage and 251,552 natural damage to all players every 1 second, causing, remember, sap bolt and fire waves to erupt from them. All right, so remember, zap bolts inflicts 3.3 million natural damage to players within 5 yards of the impact zone. So dodge zap bolts and dodge wave. There you go, chat. Dodge zap bolts and dodge wave, or you're gonna get wrecked. waves do 5 million damage if you're hit. In Mythic, this is Mythic. Alright, so this is the new Mythic mechanic. It says Tiny Tussle. Only Mythic has to deal with this. This is called Tiny Tussle. Fans periodically throw toys resembling Ferrando and Torque in the arena. Toys charge towards rival toys within 15 yards, destroying both. In the process, inflicts 419,254 fire and 419,254 natural damage to all players every 1 second for 3 seconds. This effect stacks during Colossal Clash. All toys charge their closest rivals regardless of range, inflicting 500 increased damage. Toys can be kicked by running into them. So you gotta run through the toys. And it says toys charge towards the rival toy within 15 yards, destroying both in the process. So basically, run over the toys and don't let them charge towards one another. Basically, kill the toys. If the toys are targetable, nuke down the toys before they touch each other. Before the T-Rex and the monkey go towards each other. There you go, chat. Or they're going to inflict a lot of damage. Alright? And that's only in Mythic mode. So remember, the fans are going to throw toys that's going to resemble the T-Rex and the monkey. Alright? So the toys are going to walk towards each other. And if they do, they're going to inflict a raid-wide damage. Alright? And then all toys charge their closest rival regardless of range during Colossal Clash, inflicting 500% increased damage. Alright, so this is something very that you need to deal with before Colossal Clash on Mythic, or you will raid wipe. And it says toys can be kicked by running into them. So you can run into the toys and push them in a different direction before they rival next to each other, basically, before they get close to each other. There you go. And that's the Mythic. Alright, so in Mythic, remember, you can't bring them together. They take 99% less damage. Remember, King of Carnage, one dies and the other one lives and increases damage by 50% every 5 seconds and vastly increases the range of some abilities. Okay. Alright, legit. Alright, so let's see. For healers, for the T-Rex, it says blistering spikes. So the damage has now increased. For everybody, every 5 seconds takes 13,428 fire damage every 1 second for 15 seconds, and this effect stacks. Remember, Scrap Bomb. Remember, the T-Rex throws out Scrap Bomb. Everybody got to soak it. And now it does 8.3 million fire damage to all players that are soaking it. So you might need more players or pop cooldowns. You figure it out. Or bubble or something. I don't know. And remember, heroic and mythic difficulties, Scrap Bomb leaves behind a molten pool after exploding. And remember, what is molten pool? Molten pool is molten pools. Metal spreads across the ground, sending fire waves in multiple directions. Remember, you gotta dodge it because it does 1.6 million fire damage to every person that's touching the molten pool. So get out of the molten pool. The minute the Scrap Bomb gets soaked, get out of the molten pool because you'll take 1.6 million fire damage every second you touch it. And also dodge the waves, because remember, now in Mythic, you get hit, you take 5 million damage per wave hit. Nice. And also Molten Phlegm. Also remember, in Mythic, Florendo coats a player in molten metal, inflicting 603,726 fire damage to all players within 5 yards. every second for 10 seconds. Okay. And remember, blast burn. Also, that is a the fire cannon. Dodge it or you die. It says you're gonna take 66.6 million fire damage every 0.1 second that you hit. So either dodge the wave, and it said on mythic. It says on mythic difficulty, blast burn roar fires 3 beams in a cone. Oh damn! There you go, chat. It fired 3 in mythic. It throws 3 beams at you. So dodge the beams or you will get wrecked in mythic. Alright? 3 beams in a cone. So dodge the beams or you're gonna get wrecked in mythic. And remember, for the tanks, eruption stomp. For the T-Rex, remember now in mythic he inflicts 16.7 million fire damage and launches you in the air and releases fire waves in multiple directions. All right, possible tank swap. Y'all go figure that out. Y'all are tanks in mythic. All right, let's see. Torque the Tempest. This is the monkey. Remember, Gavilan spikes, and this is mythic. Galvanized spikes. It says Torque blistles with electricity applying galvanized spikes to all players. This is healer alert. All right, now they're gonna take, for every 5 seconds, they're gonna take 13,428 natural damage every 1 second for 15 seconds in the stacks. And also now, this only applies in mythic difficulty. Tempest Unleash, a new ability by Monkey. All right. It says Torque's suit has been overclocked, causing him to periodically calm down. Zap vaults through the arena. Okay, so basically, the Torque suits have been overclocked, causing him to periodically call down sound balls through the arena. So basically, dodge the sound balls because he'll be releasing like lightning bolts on the ground. So sab bolts on the ground. So dodge the sab bolts because the monkey's gonna be doing that in mythic. All right, periodically he's gonna be doing that. So you gotta dodge the sab bolts from the monkey in mythic. All right, so let's see. Static charge is very important. Remember, after Colossal Clash, an electric charge, or we put with charges scores through players that enter into range. So get out of the range or you will be zapped for 117,391 natural damage every second. And remember, if you move, you will overload it, and if you stand still, you will deplete the numbers. Remember, if you overload it, you build up the charge, you get stunned for 6 seconds with static discharge. All right. So Thunder Drum Solve. Let's see. I say dodge this. Remember, run out of the raid and dodge this, because you're gonna end up taking 4.1 million natural damage within 4 yards. All right. If you get targeted by Thunder Drum Salvo in Mythic, dodge it. Get it out of the raid. Run. All right. Let's see. Voltic Image. This is heroic difficulty. Remember, he summons electro images of himself that fixes on players. Basically, kill the images. Upon contact, it explodes 4.6 million natural damage to players within 10 yards, creating lingering electricity. Okay, so on mythic difficulty, Voltic images also detonate upon expiration. Okay, so basically, kill the ads. You have mythic, you have to kill the ad, or if you can't kill the ad, then understand they're gonna explode and you gotta run away, and possibly, but I'm guessing you're gonna have to kill the ad because it summons electric images, so you got to kill the electric images, or they're gonna on spawn as they expire after 12 seconds, they will detonate within 10 yards. People would take 4.6 million natural damage. So basically, run it out and then kill the ad. Yes. Well, run it out, and then people switch to kill the once it's out of radius from the raid, basically. All right, you probably do that in heroic too, but definitely in mythic for sure. Yeah, you doing that in heroic, that's come out, but also definitely more in mythic because they hurt more. Let's see, lingering electricity. Lingering electricity inflicts 1.2 million natural damage every 1 second to players within the area, silence them and pacifying them. I don't know what pacifying is, but okay. Let's see. Lightning Bash. All right, for Mythic, remember, he does more damage, so he's going to do 25.9 million physical damage. In addition, 100% of unmitigated damage is inflicted as natural damage. All right, Chad, there you go. Possible tank swap. All right, Chad, that was Mythic. That was the rundown of the Cauldron of Carnage. All right, on normal, heroic, and mythic breakdown of everything. All right, let me know what y'all think. All right, make sure you comment below. Let me know what you think. Did I cover everything? Hopefully you like the coverage. We'll be doing next is Rick Reverend. All right, we'll be doing normal, heroic, and mythic breakdown as like we just did. All right, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. We'll see you on the next episode of DreamTanksTV and Enhancement Shaman Madness. Take it easy, buddy. Later. All right, legit.